What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're gonna rip around a little bit in this 2022 Hyundai Kona N and see if this is that ultimate micro-sized SUV, but is still a performance car. So this thing already looks pretty cool. We had a Veloster N, pretty much the same spec.
Racing red.
Racing red.
Color.
I mean, it is pretty cool looking, and it's pretty darn affordable too. It's got a nice little sporty touch to it.
It's right around 35,000.
Yeah, so
this one sits.
Very affordable. I do like the styling. I think it's pretty cool. It's a little overstyled, but it makes it fun looking, makes it look cool. You got like two different types of taillights. So you got some quirky aspects. And then the interior, we get some bucket seats, Alcantara leather. I mean, this is pretty sweet. And then all sorts of drive modes with launch control. So Mike, I say we launch it and then get into what this thing's all about.
Let's go. All right, so we've had this Kona N for about a week now, and we are going to use launch control. So I have everything set up.
Yeah,
we're in the N mode.
Leave traction on so it doesn't spin the tires.
Yep.
But
we have it activated with my foot on the brake. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Builds a little bit. And that's 60. Not bad.
Not bad. I think 0 to 60 is maybe in the mid 5-second range.
Yeah.
It's definitely under 6. So if you want to use launch control in your mini-sized SUV, you have the option to do that. This is a pretty sporty-oriented, compact SUV.
It's crazy calling it an SUV because it's really the size of like a hatchback. It's kind of a Veloster, just stretched a little bit and a little bit taller and added an extra door.
Yeah.
But it's neat how you get so many performance features. And even like going into manual mode now, you got these really sweet paddle shifters.
They're pretty responsive too, as soon as you hit them. And we have the shift lights surrounding the entire tack.
Yeah.
So when you get up to that higher RPM, everything turns yellow or red, just to be like, you know, obviously shift, but makes it look pretty cool.
I think it's cool how it has the full screen and everything when you're in the sport mode.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how it is a digital configurable gauge cluster.
Yeah. So at least judging this, comparing it kind of to the Veloster N, which is like the first N model they did, and then we had the Sonata N as well. This is neat how Hyundai really is kind of throwing that N design, all the fun factor stuff to kind of their whole lineup almost. I mean, a lot of them.
Pretty much. It's crazy to see that because a lot of people are like still maybe against Hyundai because, I don't know, they think of the older version of Hyundai.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
But the newer Hyundais, man, like they're not crazy performance oriented, but they're sporty.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's attracting maybe younger buyers.
I think so, because if you look at it now with everything being so expensive, to get into any sports car, you're 40, 50, 60 grand, 100 grand even.
Yeah.
You know, Hyundai is really making that fun, budget-friendly car that actually is fun and cool to own, and something that would really be a great first car, entry-level sporty car, something that can put a smile on your face. You still got a 100,000-mile warranty, even though it's something that's more performance-focused.
Yeah.
And you can just enjoy using it for day-to-day stuff and then actually enjoy driving it.
And we took the Veloster N to the mountains. We didn't get to take this to the mountains, but
let's test out these twisties then, because we'll do it down and back. Is this front wheel or all wheel?
This is front wheel.
Okay.
Was the Veloster front wheel?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably going to be very similar. I think it weighs a little bit more though.
Yeah.
But the Veloster N was amazing in the mountains. So if you want something probably a little bit more sporty than this, lower center of gravity because it's not quite as tall.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, you can actually take a turn with this Hyundai. Like,
yeah. It's nice how they do give you the usability because you can fit some good stuff in the back. People can ride in the back too.
I will say we had it on about an hour road trip, and it was a little tight with two people and all our stuff in the back. It's crammed. So if you're buying this, obviously you're not looking for something large.
Yeah.
But it's doable, you know, around town if you need groceries, whatever. It's not crazy big to put in larger items.
So it's a good city SUV
for
a good city SUV. Two people. Not quite a family SUV at all.
Yeah.
Ooh, do I get to drive now?
It is your turn.
I only got to drive this one day. So
here we go.
Let's rip it a little bit. So yeah, so now with me behind the wheel, it just like how you get such a performance focus, like with your gauge cluster in the center. I love that sound.
I know it's. I think you got to get a little higher. There we go.
Wow.
I mean, So you can actually feel some torque steer.
There's a little bit of torque steer, yeah.
It's got around 275, I think, which is pretty reasonable for front wheel drive. I think once you start going over 300, you probably feel it a little bit more.
But the steering itself, like when you go into the main screen with all the N stuff, I like how you can see the steering you can adjust, the suspension is adjustable, traction control, exhaust, the limited slip up front is adjustable as well. It's really cool how many things are adjustable.
I mean, for what we're doing today, if you want to see us rip on the Veloster, those videos will be down below.
Yeah.
But for what we're able to do today, it seems like it handles very similar.
It really does. I think the fact that this has so many adaptive settings in it within the mechanical features of the car, I mean, that's things you find on a BMW that's going to be $60,000.
And for half or less than half the price, they're all in here.
It's pretty neat. And I like the power. I think it's got a good amount of power. Like we said, it's not it's not a crazy fast sports car.
But you get up to get into traffic, you're already up to speed.
I mean, that's 55
just
without,
like that.
Yeah, without straining it. And then, honestly, you don't even have to ring out the engine every gear change.
Yeah.
Even just going about 5,000 RPM, it's adequately powered to where you don't even have to stress it. Some of these cars that have, the small four cylinders, you've got to just stress the engine all the time, which isn't really too fun.
Yeah.
These engines that Hyundai's been doing for a little while seem pretty good and well powered. And I like how you still get some amenities. Like if I toggle this button, it goes back to the normal mode, and then your actual drive mode selector. We got the normal sport mode, which is going to be fun, but it's not quite as crazy as the custom, the N modes.
Yeah.
But they've even dialing it all the way down to eco. On your road trip, like what kind of efficiency did you get?
As far as MPG?
Yeah.
Well, I had it in eco for pretty much all of the highway driving, and even with a couple launch control pulls, we're still around 27.3 MPG on a 13-gallon tank. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not going to cost much to fill up. You're going to go a pretty long ways, too, on that. I think we've done, 250, 300 miles at least?
Not bad on a
maybe 300 miles. Yeah, on that size of a tank, I'd say right around 300 miles, and we are almost empty right now. So it's been very efficient. I think this would be a really good first car too. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, I can see that. Like,
if you want, if you're like a sports car guy like us and you want to get some for your kids, but you don't want them to have something like too crazy, this could be on that type of level where they're not getting too much horsepower, or even just your first car, you just want something small.
Yeah, I think the Kona in general, there's this like new phase of like micro SUVs. I know when crossovers came out, they were the smaller SUVs. Now there's this level of car, which is I guess a micro SUV. Really, it's more of like a hatchback car, but still considered an SUV.
I guess if you don't want a sedan, but you want room in the back with that hatchback design, but you don't want a tiny hatchback.
It's taller than a four-door hatchback would be.
Right.
So it's shaped like an SUV, but it's still a car. But it's still an SUV.
But I mean, it still rides low too.
Yeah,
like you're not in a SUV height.
Yeah, easy to get in and out of. So even the Kona in general would be just a good, I can even see like an older person buying it. Just a nice, normal, small car that's going to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But the N stuff, the way they've done it all, it really does wake it up. Like, and I love that you can just tap it once, get you into the fun modes.
It's pretty cool. Well, is that going to wrap it up?
We are about to.
I did a full review and a POV drive, so make sure you check those out if you'd like to see all the specs on this particular model, all the features, going through everything in this screen.
So then, to sum it up, is the 2022 Hyundai Kona N, that fun micro SUV? Because we looked at some other competitors, nothing really competes.
We have the Nissan Kicks.
They don't have a Nismo version.
They don't,
Toyota doesn't have anything. Maybe the Corolla Cross, but there's no like TRD version or anything.
I mean,
so it's cool that Hyundai's actually throwing in the fun stuff, which I think in today's market, people like fun cars. They just make you happy and more fun to drive. And the fact that this gives you all that for a pretty affordable price, it's a good, well-rounded option. It may not be the biggest thing, family, you're not going to put too many kids or stuff back here.
Yeah.
But the fact that you do get quite a lot for the money, not bad ride quality either. It's pretty cool.
It's not bad. Out on the highway, it still has that economy feeling ride.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's what you would expect at this price and all that.
Yeah, it's not a refined $80,000 car.
Yeah.
So not a bad option for
I like it.
So a budget economy, micro SUV, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And looks really cool. I think it looks pretty sweet.
Especially in red.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of red, but it's nice.
And then one last thing, the NGS.
We didn't talk about that.
Is like it gives you like
basically it's your push
shifts
to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I showed that in the review if you want to check that out.
So like all your turbo power, which is pretty neat.
Pretty much.
So Hyundai, well thought out, thought out, a fun little toy. So I think that's it then. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content. We'll see you guys in the next video.